Hello, welcome back to my channel Lomzy Sews. In today's sewing tutorial, I'll be making this crop top. It's very easy and it's beginner friendly. If that's what you want to learn, then continue watching till the end to see how I made it. It's very easy and it's beginner friendly. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe and drop a comment in the comment section. And to my returning subscribers, you guys are the best. Thank you, and let's start with this sewing tutorial. Here I have with me 45 inches by 60. If you're on the plus size, you can use 1.5 by 60 inches. And if your fabric is by 45 inches or by 50 inches, you might need 1.5 or 2 inches, depending on your size. So I have with me here crepe, as you can see. You can use African fabric to make this. You can use Duchess, you can use satin to make this. But here I have with me crepe fabric that I'm going to be using. So let's start with the tutorial. I have my fabric folded into 4, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I just folded it into 2, nothing serious. I just folded into 2 like this. This will serve as my center front and my center back, and this will be the side seam. Now we're going to be taking the horizontal line. The measurement we'll be using for this is bust 34, shoulder length 9 inches, and the length of the crop top is going to be 17 inches. So I will start by taking the measurements. First, I'm going to take the length of the crop top. So the length of the crop top is 17 inches. I'm going to add 2 inches to that for the hem, and I'm going to add ½ inch for the upper side. So I have here 19.5. I'm going to mark, this will be the where I'm starting from. So I'm going to start from here. So now this will serve as my shoulder line. So the next thing we have to take is the armhole length. My armhole length I'm using is 9 inches. I'm going to mark it here. I'll tell you guys how to get your armhole length. I'm going to square this out. You don't necessarily need to square it to the end because this is just the area you're using. And next we have the final length, which is for the crop top, like I already did. So these are the only 2 measurements you need for this. Next, we're going to go over to the neckline. The neckline I'm using is 2.5 inches. I'm going to mark it here. Remember, I have already added my sewing allowance. If I hadn't added my sewing allowance, it would be 3 inches. So by the time I sew out, I will have 3 inches as my neck width. The next thing you're going to get from this center front and center back, you're going to get your shoulder width. So what you're going to do is to measure from one end of the shoulder bone to the other, whatever that is, divide that by 2. So what I have is 14 inches. If I divide it by 2, I will have 7. I'll add ½ inch sewing allowance to that, and which will give me 7.5. I'll mark 7.5 here. So I'm going to drop the 7.5 on this armhole line, 7.5 inches, and I'm going to connect this line. So next, I'm going to drop the shoulder. Our shoulders are not straight, so you always need to drop it. So I'm going to drop my shoulder width with 1.5 inches, and I'll mark it like this. I'm going to connect this to this neckline. So you go ahead and connect it to the neckline like that. So like I told you, that I'm going to tell you how to know the armhole length. From here where I have marked my 1.5 inches, you're going to, from here to here, you're going to divide your bust divided by 6. Whatever that is, you're going to add 1.5 inches to that. Mine is 34 inches. 34 divided by 6 will give me 5.6. I will approximate that to 5.5. If I add 1.5 inches to that, which would give me 7 inches. So from here to here is 1.5 plus 7 inches is 8.5. Plus sewing allowance that I have here, which is ½ inch, that will make it 9 inches. So that's how I got from here to here 9 inches. So that's how to get your armhole length. Next, we're going to get the circumference of the bust. On the armhole line, we're going to get the circumference of the bust. So the circumference of the bust we're using is 34 inches. Divided by 4 will give me 8.5. I'm going to add 1.5 inches to that, which will give me 10 inches. And I will add ½ inch sewing allowance, which will give me 10.5. So I'll mark 10.5 here. I'm going to take 10.5 down to the length of the crop top. Next, we are going to draw the armhole curve. From the edge here down to this place, you're going to divide it by 2. Whatever you have, mark it there. That would be the guide. So I mark mine here. I'm going to make a curve here for the armhole curve. So I'm going to use my armhole curve. You can always use your hand to do that if you don't have an armhole curve. So I'll just connect this like this. Now this is for the back. I'm going to go in 1/2 inch and mark for the front. So I'll connect this one like this, connect it to this place and to here. So this will be the armhole curve for the front. Next, I'm going to go over to the neck. For the neck depth, I'm going to come down 1/2 inch. Remember, I have added my sewing allowance to that, so I'm going to connect it like this. And for the neck depth, I'm going to come down 3.5 inches. And I'll connect it. You can also use your armhole curve to draw this, but you know, I'm not a beginner anymore. I'm used to this. So I'm just go ahead and cut this out. This is basically it. I told you it's a very simple crop top. So I'll just cut this out. So first, I'm cutting the armhole curve for the back. I'll cut out for the back first before I'll cut for the front. So I will take away the back. So just remove the back from here so that you'll be able to cut the front. I'll go ahead and cut the armhole. So arrange it properly so that you can get the two sides of the armhole. I'll go ahead and cut out the neckline for the front. So this is it. I'll go ahead and make facing for the back because we're going to have a vent here. As you can see, I have ironed to make a crease in the center of the back. So I have also cut out the facing for the back and I've also made a crease for it. So I'm going to place it here. You can go ahead and pin it down if you're not sure of what you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this down here like this. One pin is okay for me, so I'll just go ahead to sew this. So I'm going to go away from the center back and the center front and I'm going to place this with my machine like this. I'll just decide how many inches I want for it. So I will come down like say 4 inches. So I'm going to come down 4 inches here like this. So I'll just mark it so I know where I'm stopping and I'm going to sew it. So when I get to where I want to stop, I will take up my machine like this, turn it over like this. 1, 2, 3. Then the 4th one. So I will turn it over like this. And I'm going to sew it. So you make a Y here like this. You're going to turn it over to top stitch it. So you go ahead and iron it. I'll go ahead and place the front piece shoulder to shoulder and I'm going to sew it. So I'll use this like this. So this is it after sewing it. As you can see the back. So the next thing we are going to do now is to add the sleeve. So we are going to be cutting the sleeve. For us to cut the sleeve, we take the measurement of the armhole curve. So just go ahead and take the armhole curve measurement. You can use the back. Just use the back. You don't need to use the front. So you go ahead and take the measurements like this. what I have here is 8.5. You're going to make times that by 2, which would give you 17 inches. So we are going to be cutting out the sleeve now. For us to cut the sleeve, we are going to be making a full circle. If you know how I make my full circle, you should have been aware of how I do this. So this is the fabric I'll be using. I'm going to fold it into 2 like this, and I'll fold it again like this. Now it's into 4 places. Can you see? This is into 4 places, and this is for the 2 sleeves. So now we're going to fold it again like this. This is what will make it the 360-degree flare. Now we're going to make a full circle flare. Remember, it has to be a square. If you remember how I make my circles flares. So what we have here is 10 inches by 10 inches. So I'm going to make a circle like this. This side is the side that is on fold. They are all on fold on this side. But if you look at this side, is not, some are not on fold. So on this side that is on fold, we are going to place our radius like that, and we're going to make 10 inches all around. So this is 10 inches all around. I've taken in 10 inches all around. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. So this is what we have like this. So next we are going to shift this thing like this. So I'm going to shift it like this. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So now I have made a high-low. Can you see? So from here to here, what I have here is 5 inches. Now we're going to make a radius here. For us to make the radius, we're going to divide the measurement we got from the sleeve, which is 17 inches. We're going to divide it by 6.28, and that's how you make your circle flare. So 17 divided by 6.28 will give you 2.7, and I'm going to approximate that to 3 inches, and I'm going to mark 3 inches here. That approximation will help me to gather up the sleeve head. So I'm just going to mark 3 inches here around. I'll go ahead and cut this out. I'll go ahead and notch this place. This will be for the under the armhole, and this will be for the sleeve head. So I'll also notch it here like this. So I'll go ahead and go and fix it on my sleeve. Can you see? By the time I fix it on my sleeve, they will all be equal. Can you see? So I'll go ahead and fix this on my sleeve now. So what I will do is go to my machine now, and I'm going to place this like this. So this is for this sleeve and this is for this sleeve. So you're going to place it like this. Place this here. Can you see that this is bigger than it? So you go ahead and gather it for it to enter there. So I'll go ahead and gather this now and show you the final look. So this is it after sewing it. Can you see? I've also gone ahead to hem the lower part. So for the sleeve, as you can see, it's short because my fabric is not enough. So you can decide to make your square to be 15 inches. Remember, my own is 10 inches, but you can make yours to be 15 inches. As you can see, the 3 inches we used had the gathers. Can you see? The gathers is just at the head of the sleeve. I'm going to put a rope for the neck. So what I have here is I have 4.5 inches by 38. So you can make yours to be longer. Remember, my fabric is not really enough. So if you want to do this, I think you would use 1.5 yards. I think 1.5 yards will be okay for this. So first, I'm going to take the measurements of the neckline. So go ahead and take the measurements of the neckline. So here I have 7.5 inches. So I'm going to measure 7.5 inches when I fold this. So having this on fold like this, I'll measure 7.5 inches for the neckline, or you can make it 8 inches. So from here to here, I'm going to take 8 inches and I'm going to notch it. So you just go ahead and notch it. That's where you will stop sewing when you're closing the strap. So I'll go to my machine now and I'm going to close this place like this from here to here. I'll stop here where I have made the notch. I'll do the same thing on the other side and stop where I made the notch. And when I'm done, I'm going to use this. I will use this and I'm going to add this from this place. I'm going to add it all around and I will close it. So I'll just go ahead and do that and show you the finished look. So this is it after it was done. Can you see? Like I told you, my rope is very small because my fabric is not that much. So I told you guys to use 1.5. So guys, this is the end of this video. Do remember to give this video a thumbs up and like, and also share this to your sewing community on Facebook, Pinterest, and all the rest. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.